it's me, Truck Driver Sean. Yeah, I'm here today to demo a new brand, new company on the Truck Driver Sean YouTube channel. All thanks to Chase Lewis over at That Sounds Terrible. If you haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. He's an awesome dude, super smart, gets nerdy with stuff, and yeah, just a good dude. Seriously, go check out his stuff. Um, so Two Mutts is kind of the creation of a guy who's been working with, you know, the electronic industry for 30 years. Yeah, that's a long time to be playing around with electronics, right? So what they essentially do is they take old circuits and kind of refresh them and make them for today's environment. Essentially, it's a clone, but is it really a clone if you take and you build on what's already there? I mean, if that's true, if it's a clone, every single pedal company, including my own, is cloning the TS9 or 808 for every single overdrive that's on the planet. So, with that said, having your own take on something, I mean, come on. We're all here to have fun, to have guitars make noise, lots of noise. Yeah. All right, so everything is built like with these. It's sort of kind of like mixing the analog with digital, right? So you got high tech digital processors in here, and you got state of the art cutting edge DSP. It's built in the USA, Silicon Valley, California. Um, Very strange name for a pedal company, Two Mutts Audio, but there's a reason why. Because the dude has two dogs, and they're mutts. Makes sense, right? So big shout out to Ruby and Mr. Pickles. Who the fuck names their dog Mr. Pickles? That's just freaking weird. Mr. Pickles. Ugh. Why? He's like, come Pickles. I gotta stop myself before I go deep on that one. Anyhow, Mark is making these. He's also makes DIY kits and stuff. So if you want to check out, if you're the type of person who wants to like kind of take the adventure yourself, check out what he's got there too. This is some pretty cool stuff. I will say this right here, the Klone Ranger. Funny story about Chase Lewis. He named that because it was called Lone Ranger, maybe. I don't know. The artwork really didn't change, but they named it. And apparently, Chase thought it would have been funny to call it the Klone Ranger, which, oh, it was the Klone Ranger, maybe. And he's like, you should call it the Klone Ranger. I don't know. I can't remember because I'm old and my memory just doesn't do the thing anymore. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about what we got here. Got one knob, pretty simple. Everything's loaded on the top. Thank you, Mark. Everything should always be loaded on the top. People who put stuff on the sides, fuck you. All right, you have gain, tone, and level. This has a dumb amount of gain for a Klon. The tone is super reactive, and I do believe if it's not, it still behaves like it. It's a back sandal, I think, because in the middle, it's not really doing much of anything, but if you turn it one way, if you turn it counterclockwise, you're kind of sucking all the highs out of it. And then if you go from the middle to the right, you're tightening up and pushing those lows back and pushing the highs up into the front. And then you have three clips right here. Oh yeah. I like it when someone puts a high quality switch on there. Doesn't feel like a Yankee piece, a clunky piece of shit. It's actually a nice one. Oh man, let me see that. Click, 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 click. I can rip the thing off. But you have your A, D, and S. Okay? So all the way down, that's an asymmetrical silicon. It the diodes are going only one way. Then you got the dual silicon, and that's the diodes are going in each direction. And you have the single germanium, which is going in each direction. And that's going to kind of give you like a little bit of a difference in your sound. Is going to be more like, if you got it all the way down, it's going to be very robust. It's going to be very full. That's what you're going to get from your asymmetrical. You go in the middle, it kind of flattens out. And that's what you get from your dual silicon. All the way up, you got your single germanium, which is really bright, tight, and bright. Be really good for like 7-string, 8-string, down-tuned guitars, that type of thing. But trust me when I tell you this. I know when people start talking Klone, they don't want to mix it with metal. Thanks to Chase Lewis, I'm addicted to Klones. I fucking love Klones. For I'll tell you right off the rip, this thing is awesome. So enough of hearing me talk and mumble along. We all know that talking is not my strong suit. Okay? It's just not. Oh, and it also has the original buffer from the original Klone Centaur. Okay? That's the pedal's awesome. It just really works super well. It's built amazing. Got a good heft weight to it. It's not just some clunky piece of shit. Yeah? Good stuff. All right. If you want to snag this, it's $229. To muttsaudio.com. All right. Let's hook this thing up and, be annoying. To the Batman! Okay, so we're going to now just kind of go through, see what it does real quick. I'm not going to get super fancy. It's got 3 knobs and 1 switch. This shouldn't take long. So we'll play a riff on just the Republic by itself, and then we will take and tinker. All right? Here we go. Alright, that's just with this thing. Everything in the middle. Everything's in the middle. Switches in the middle. Knobs are in the middle. Technically, it could just be an on and off thing at this point. But before we go and get kind of crazy with everything, let's see if we can tell the difference between these diodes, right? Because if you remember right, we got 3 of them. We have S, which is a single that is a single germanium, one going in each direction, and we have a dual silicon, which is going in each direction, and then we have a asymmetrical, which is going in different directions. All right, so right now we're in the neutral, which is the dual. So we'll drop that to the asymmetrical, and then we'll bump it up to the single. Here we go. All right, with the switches, with it all the way down, you get like a really full spectrum of the highs and lows coming through at the same time. It's very thuddy. It'll freaking give you the business, but it also has a really tight low end. You go to the middle, it's kind of like the middle of what you have at the top and what you have at the bottom. You flick it all the way up to the top, you have something that's like very precisionist, very razor sharp. Be probably really good for low tuned instruments and extended range, right? Okay, so I personally like it in the down position, so we're going to leave it there. So in the fine art of fun, we're going to turn that gain all the way off. And we're just going to play, tone is in the middle, we're just going to play with a level. All right, so here we go. Without any gain added, this thing is already an absolute juggernaut. So we're just gonna turn it off again. You're gonna see me constantly bounce back to what the amp sounds like by itself. So here we go real quick. I don't want this to turn into like me talking too much. Apparently I run my suckle a little longer than anybody wants to hear it. Woohoo! As you can tell, that's brilliant. All right, so we're gonna put the level back at half. We have the tone at half. We'll play with the gain, although one thing I know about clones, their gain stage I'm not a super big fan of, but it does have its use. So let's see what this one does. That is so redonkulous, but I love it. if you're a Gainiac, I'm gonna type in this. I don't give a shit. You don't need to use that much gain. I'm gonna use it because it's available. This is for you. Holy shit! Watch what it sounds like. The two of us. It's so polar at this point. It's ridiculous. That's so damn stupid. Alright, we're going to take that gain, put it down about a quarter of the way. Now we're going to play with the tone. So the tone kind of works as a negative positive. A backsandal is technically what it's called. So if you're in the middle, you're not really doing shit. But if you go counterclockwise, you're going to take and start dialing out highs. If you go clockwise, you're going to start introducing more highs. Pretty simple, right? That's what I thought. Yeah, let's see what happens. We're going to start with it all in the middle, and then we'll back it down. The highs are too much, but I did find a sweet spot on accident. I think this sounds really good. So this is a good one to test it. Like, what's it sound like when it's killed off, and what's it sound like when it's going? All right, here we go. Well, there you go, man. This is awesome. It's really good. I love that you got a little more control than you do on the original Klone Centaur. It's really good. Like, it's got a good focus to it. There's a wide spectrum of things you can do with it, which is always nice when you have a wide spectrum. It doesn't really hold you in. Having the three choices of the diodes is nice. Depending on how your pickups are, how your amp is set up, you have options to kind of move where those diodes are going to sit. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And of course, we always ask the question, is this worth $229? Well, if you want to get a real Klone, you're spending, what, $400? And if you want one of the old ones, like from back in the day, you can only buy that once a year, and that's if your wife doesn't already have plans for your income tax money. So, yes, I think this is worth it. It's built well. It crushes. Its artwork could, I don't know. If I was going to do this, I mean, I love the fact that it's called the Klone Ranger. Again, huge shout out to Chase, because without Chase, that name wouldn't exist, and it's too fucking funny. And Chase is just brilliant. Sometimes he just has stupid shit comes out of his mouth that just makes sense. But if I was going to do this, I probably would have done a color on the whole thing, and then the graphic on top. Maybe even like a burnt orange or kind of into the reddish type of territory, and then have a black or a gold logo. That's probably what I would do. Put some nice gold buttons on it. That'd be fucking slick as shit. It would. It'd be slicker than goose shit. Anyhow, my name's Sean Davis. I sometimes play guitar because I have nothing better to do because I'm 50 and I don't have friends. But yeah. Hey, subscribe, motherfucker. Catch you next video. Later.